Hey guys, what is going on? Anthony here with Pistons Talk. Hope you guys are having a great evening so far. What I wanted to do was react to this Bleacher Report article because I think this is going to surprise a lot of you. So, Bleacher Report did a ranking of every NBA team by current trade asset. Now, I'm not going to go through all 30 teams. I'm not. I will leave a link in the description for you guys interested to see where Bleacher Report has every NBA team ranked in terms of current trade assets. I want to focus on the Detroit Pistons side because I honestly think this is going to shock some people. This is going to surprise some people. It surprised me reading this article. I did not expect the Pistons to be where Bleacher Report had them ranked. So let's scroll down to the Pistons part of this article, and I'm telling you guys, it's going to shock you. So your Detroit Pistons are a top 5 team in terms of current NBA trade assets. Yeah, top 5. Okay, if I'm being honest, I did not expect top 10. I certainly did not expect top 5. Very surprising given Bleacher Report's kind of, I don't want to say negativity, but they haven't been the most positive in terms of the Pistons. And to be fair, the Pistons have kind of been really bad lately, so I can understand why they're a little bit negative. But was really surprised by this. If I'm being honest, I thought maybe we were 15 to 20-ish range. I was completely wrong going into this article, obviously, but they kind of go into notable pieces that the Pistons can trade and also go into the rationale behind why they have your Detroit Pistons as high as 5. So let's get into it. So for notable trade pieces, they have Isaiah Stewart, Jaden Ivey, and Simone Fontecchio. Okay? Notable picks, they say 2025 through 2031 first. And the rationale behind it is one of those first could be headed to the Knicks by 2027. If you guys do remember, the Knicks own our draft picks from the Isaiah Stewart trade. And that trade, that I should say that first round pick has kind of been just traded around the NBA. Like OKC had it at one time, Houston had it at one time. Now the Knicks have it, but it is tied up until 2027. But they go on to say the protections make that very unlikely for 2025 and only slightly closer in reality in 2026 and 2027. There's a real chance the Pistons end up only having to surrender a 2027 second as part of the trade. So with the stipulations with the protections on the Isaiah Stewart trade, if it does not convert in terms of the protections by 2025 or 2026, by 2027, it goes into a second round pick. Which, to Bleacher Report's point, I don't have the exact protections in front of me, but I want to say, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, it's top 13 protected going into this year, or top 11. And I believe in 2026, it's like top 9 or top 10 or something like that. Again, I don't have it pulled up in front of me right now, but that's kind of like the rationale behind why they have the Pistons as high as 5 in terms of just tradable assets. They also go on to say, as bad as the Pistons have been over the years, those picks would have a ton of value if Detroit chose to include them in a win-now move. They could add an intriguing young talent to trade packages with those picks too. They go on to say Detroit has a lot of upcoming playmaking talent in Cade Cunningham and Asar Thompson, which could make Jaden Ivey a trade candidate. Isaiah Stewart could have some interest around the league as a bruising rebounder and a theoretical floor spacer. Either could help the Pistons make short-term upgrades. On the other hand, if Detroit is just plain bad again, it could move a veteran shooter like Simone Fontecchio for draft capital. Like everyone in this range of this exercise, the Pistons have multiple paths to potentially explore. I think they make a very good explanation for why they believe that the Detroit Pistons are a top five team in terms of tradable assets. And I know it's been bad recently, but you kind of have to consider where the Pistons have been since the start of their rebuild. I mean, Isaiah Stewart is the only player still left from the 2020 draft class. We know that. Cade Cunningham, first overall pick in 2021. 2022, we get Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren. 2 lottery picks again. 2023, we get Asar Thompson at 5. In 2024, we get Ron Holland at 5. All these first round picks, they're valuable around the league. They're valuable. I mean, Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart, I think right now, are probably the 2 most popular names in trade rumors that I see to this day. I see Jalen Duren in trade rumors every day with the New York Knicks. Because the Knicks need a center, and Jalen Duren is going to be really good. Like, really, really good. If he develops his defense and it turns into that two-way like superstar center that we think he can become, like a baby Dwight Howard, he's going to be really good. Cade Cunningham, we saw last year, he averaged 22 and almost 8 assists with no spacing and had to share a backcourt with Killian Hayes, who was a non-shooter. That should tell you how great of a player Cade Cunningham is. Jaden Ivey, I really like. You guys know that. I think Jaden Ivey has elite skill traits that you just cannot teach. The speed, the acceleration, getting to the basket with ease. He's valuable. Asar Thompson is valuable. Ron Holland is valuable. And I think that's the reason why Bleacher Report has the Detroit Pistons as high as 5 in these tradable assets, because I know we've been losing a lot of games, but you have to think of it in terms of how do other, not fans, but other general managers around the league feel about these players. We hear that a lot of contenders like Isaiah Stewart, you know why they are interested in Isaiah Stewart? Because Isaiah Stewart would be perfect as a backup center or a backup power forward, as an energy guy off your bench. Teams around the league are always looking for guys like that in his skill set. The reason why so many teams call about Jalen Duren is they see the potential and they know if they got their hands on him, they could develop him into a two-way center that I think a lot of you guys see the same thing, that he has so much potential and his ceiling is so high. If you develop him correctly, you could have a franchise starting center. You could have a center that could turn into a multiple-time All-Star. Cade Cunningham is the franchise player. I mean, there were reports earlier this year that the Hawks called about Cade Cunningham. They were willing to trade Trae Young for Cade straight up. Obviously, those talks didn't go anywhere. The Pistons hung up the phone. But what you guys have to know is, yes, it's been bad. Yes, the Pistons have been losing a lot. But the Detroit Pistons have tradable assets. Obviously, the first-round picks right now are tied up because they have the protections on them. But there's a good chance that the Pistons are going to keep their 2025 pick. There's a good chance they could keep their 2026 pick. And if it doesn't convey by 2026, we're losing a second-round pick. That's nothing to really lose sleep over. But I want to know what you guys think of this, that Bleacher Report had your Detroit Pistons as high as 5 in terms of tradable assets. I could just scroll for 4 if you guys are interested. That is the San Antonio Spurs. 3 is the Houston Rockets. 2 is the Utah Jazz. And OKC is high as 1. But again, your Pistons are top 5 in this. Talk to me in the comment section what you think of Bleacher Report having your Detroit Pistons again as high as 5 in terms of NBA tradable assets currently. Talk to you guys down there. Like always, hope you guys are staying safe. Take care, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.